So let's create a dimension table. So I'm again referencing this master table and creating another one, and let's name it dim country. Okay, so this is again a naming convention, like keep the terminology dim in first as a prefix, and then goes the table name, or you can keep it as country space dim. So therein this dim comes in as a suffix. Now I need two more. It would be dim region and dim country code. All right. Now, so let's leave this fact cases just like this for now. Okay, we will be working on this later on. Now let's look into the country. Okay, so creating a dimension out of country, we only need this column. We only need this country column, so we are going to remove the others. Okay, now what we need is we need the unique values out of this entire column. So what will we again do is right click and there should be remove duplicates. Yeah, remove duplicates. Okay, now we have the unique values. Now what we need to do is we should provide a index, that is we should be creating a primary key for this. So for that we have this option over here. Okay, index column. Now we have created the index, and right now we have a dimension table of a country. Okay, we have the dim country table. Now we can use this table to have a connection or a relationship with the fact cases table. Okay, for that now we cannot just leave these the column names and all unordered and all. So what we need to do is we should be keeping proper names for everything. The header for this column would be country ID. That's the right way to do it. Okay, now we can reorder this in such a way, but it would only create another step. So it's as per like user wish or based on your performance of the data. I would not create this an extra column, because no matter how we create it here, the structure of this um, the table would not be the samely the organized in the same way as we will be seeing in the report view. So when we are looking at the tables and its columns in that view, it may not be always the same. So I prefer to keep it this way, but it's always recommended to reorder this and keep the ID table first. Now I will show you a trick which can be useful at times. So we can see that we have to do all these steps in the same way for these two tables. Okay, to create the region table as we did before, we need to select this, remove everything else, remove duplicates, and add an index. So if you see over here, it's basically the same number of steps that we have, same steps that we have done here. So here is where the coding parts help us. What you can do is you can copy this part. Okay, if you just keep an eye, like the source is master. Okay, also we will confirm over here as well the source is master. So as the source is common and the same number of steps, not just the same number, we are doing the same operation. So in such a scenario we can just copy paste the code. The only difference is the column names. So here we need who underscore region. Okay, and the index column name should be region ID. This is the only difference. So if I'm clicking it, all right, so the error says that the column WHO region on the table was not found. Okay, now let's troubleshoot. Let's go back. So what's happened? Maybe a typo. Yes, it was a typo. What I did is that I just copied the I just copied that column name and I replaced it there. It was definitely a typo. Now, if you look over here, we have a neat dimension table for the region as well. Okay. Now for the country code, we can do the same over here. Replacing the steps from, oh, sorry, I lost the code. So replacing the steps, we'll again bring it from here, the country code. And okay, we don't want to make the same typo again. Country underscore, it's small c. There we go. So we have 3 dimension tables. Okay, I have shown you the proper way of doing it and reducing the effort and using the code to do it better. Now you know that how to create a fact and dimension tables. Now to organize these things, we have something called grouping, like grouping. Yeah, that's what we have over here. We can just right click it and see, if you look over here, there is an option called new group. So it creates a folder like structure. Okay, so I'm just going to name this master data just for fun. Okay, so it's as per your wish. I'm doing this because we have the raw data in this column raw, sorry, in this table raw, and I am doing some initial changes in the master table. So we are not doing any kind of heavy data modeling over here. So this is actually my raw data. Now coming to the below tables. Okay, we can group these as, where did we go? Oh, I think I sent it together to the old group itself. Yeah, we need to create a new group there. So leave the other queries as of now. So these other queries, they have some parameters and functions which we'll be looking into. So right now we have an organized structure for our raw data and the model. So now let's close and apply all this. So what this apply will do is, like, it will do the changes that we have done so far. Okay, it will create the raw master connections, and then it will do the all the modeling that we have done on fact, dim, and all these tables. That is what apply will do. Close and apply means it will close this window, and then the changes will be reflected in our report. If you look over here, see, they are being processed, and the connections are being made. Let's wait for the tables to appear in the screen. Okay, now so we have a country code and region. Now see, we cannot just simply link these tables, because uh, um, it's not the proper way. We are not yet at the proper stage of linking these tables. So we'll go back to the editor. What we need to do is go to the fact table, and now comes the merging part, or remodeling it in such a way that we can create relationships between the dimension and fact. Let's click on merge queries. Okay, now we need to link the fact and, okay, country one by one. Country, you we need to select the whichever column we need to link it. Select the same column, the category column, select its corresponding dimension table which we created, and select the same column, the category column in that dimension table. That is how we link these two. Okay, and if you look below, you can see the total number of matches. Okay, it means that while having a joint relationship between these two tables, there is a perfect match. Okay, so you will need to explore what are the operations or how the logic works when in case each of these operations are done on the tables. So you will have to go through and check by yourself what all are the logic behind these operations, because not all times you will need to use left outer. You might be needing the other operations like full outer, right outer. So it depends on the scenario. In this case, we will be using the full outer only. Now, if you look over here, we have the column, but the value still stays table. So why is it that? It's because when we are linking the tables, it's actually bringing the entire table over here. So if we click on these cells, we'll get the value down here. Okay, there's a preview. So if you look over here, we have both the IDs, sorry, both the values of that dimension table shown over here. So among these, we will only need the country ID. So if you note over here, there is an arrow. The instead of the drop down arrow, we have a button which has arrows to two sides. So if you click on that, you will get the names of columns that are present in that table. Among that, we need to select the ID table, the index column, or the primary key of that column, that table. That's what we are selecting. Once we export or bring that primary key into this table, it acts as a foreign key. So now we are going to bring that primary key into our fact table. We need to, you can uncheck this option because most of the, what this actually does is, it is adding the, okay, let's have a look at it anyway. So yeah, do you see it's actually adding the dimension table name followed by the column name that we selected, separated by a dot. So we don't need it that way. Okay, we don't need that table name over there. So what you need to do is you will again need to select that step. So yeah, go to the previous step, uncheck this option, click OK. Oh, sorry, I forgot one thing. We should have selected the ID column and keep this unchecked. There. So we have country created like that. Now we will do the same to WHO region. So now as we have done the country column, let's look into the region column. So in the same way, we will be selecting the column name and merge queries. Now we'll need to select the dimension table. So WHO region, we have the confirmed matches. Click OK, and we have the table brought in. Now we just need to select the primary key. All right, so we have brought in that table as well. Now we will look into the final one, country code, merge queries, select the dimension. Oh, sorry, country code, confirm the matches. Okay, and now finally select the ID column. Done. Now as we have created references for all these dimension tables, we won't be needing the actual values. Okay, because we have separate dimension tables for these three, and they don't need to be on the fact table anymore. So what we will do is we will select this and select those three columns and remove them. Okay, select them and right click and select remove columns. Now let's close and apply. Okay, so if you look over here, we have changes. Now it is possible to link these tables. Choose country ID, drag and drop. That's it. That's how we create a relationship between these two tables, a dimension table and a fact table. Okay, that is one way. We have another option over here, manage relationships. Okay, so we can add a new relationship from fact table to its dimension table. Okay, yes, see, Power BI has already detected it, and we just need to provide the cardinality and the direction. We will talk about the direction later on. As of now, we have options to make the relationship active. Let's try and keeping this relationship inactive. So see, if you are selecting this over here, the relation won't show over here. So I need it here. Let's make it active. Okay, now let's do the same for region ID. We can also access the properties of the relationship from here. Okay, so that this is something I wanted to show you guys. If you see, there is a difference between these two lines now. This shows that there is a relationship setup, but it is not active. Before closing of the window, I deselected this make this relationship active option. So that's how you keep a relationship inactive. So now we have a star schema. This is how a star schema looks like. Every dimension table has a direct relationship, direct one-to-many relationship between the with the fact table. Okay. Now I am going to create a snowflake schema from this same data set. Let's see how to do that.